Now, MicroStrategy I want to talk about because I know there are a lot of folks in the Invest Answers community and even in my Patreon that still have substantial MicroStrategy holdings and unfortunately did not sell earlier in the year. And the question is what to do now. Do you want to realize those losses or do you want to hold on? And it's a tricky one because Bitcoin looks like it's going to perhaps mount that bit of a rally that we talked about, but no one can see into the future. So there are lots of things you could do, but if I was still holding any of this, I would ask myself, okay, what's the potential move to the upside? And I would say that we will have a lot of resistance. And when you break a level like that, it usually flips into resistance. And this would align with the fractal from 2022, where MicroStrategy around this time, just like Bitcoin, saw a rally before a little bit more downside and eventually found its base. And it found its base about 6 months before Bitcoin. So that is something to remember. I suspect some of this right here is tax loss harvesting that we're seeing with folks, just like Dave or others who are saying, do I want to realize some of these MicroStrategy losses? Because if you look at the average trading range, I think the average MicroStrategy holder from this year is in at like 330 or so, 340, somewhere around that level. So they're very much underwater at 155 right now. And it would make sense to want to realize some of those losses. But as soon as we pass Wednesday, some of that pressure is going to be removed. And you have to think there are also people who saw this coming, who sold earlier, who didn't want to get back in, or maybe they just sold in November or earlier December. And in early January, they might become buyers again. That is something to think about.